Hey everybody, welcome to This Board Game Life, episode number 115, titled Awarding. This is the show about games, board games, card games, any kind of games that we want to talk about, and heck, any other topic that we want to talk about as well. I am one of your fine hosts for today. My name is Rob, and as always, I got my good buddy, Mark.
Hey
with
everybody,
me
how's
as
it
well.
going? How you doing? What's happening? What's shaking? What's
Are you
rolling?
asking me or our listeners? Because
I'm
you
asking
won't
the
hear them.
listeners. I don't care about you.
I know. I'm old news. I get it.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. But anyway, I don't think the listeners want to hear a chit chat about ourselves. They want to
Nope.
hear chit chat about this fun, amazing hobby
Games.
that we enjoy: tabletop board card gaming and all that good stuff. So, with that being said, let's kind of get rolling with things. Real quick, just want to make mention that we do have a YouTube channel. So if you have not checked that out, definitely do check it out. Like and subscribe as is shown right there by Mark. So out on our YouTube channel, we've got, of course, our podcast, both in video and audio form. We've got unboxing playthroughs. We've got Mark's mailbag, a ton of great content. And if you like this show here, I'm sure you're going to love that stuff as well. And I guess we can let the cat out of the bag. I finally got my studio redone after like a 10-year hiatus. So if everything goes well within, and am I jinxing things now? Maybe I am.
Well,
But
you're
if everything goes well, I'll have everything set up in the next couple of days, and then I'll have my first content out here shortly within the next week or so. But anyway,
awesome.
if you see my content in addition to Mark's, please like and subscribe. It's a great way to help out the show. Let the algorithm send us out to more people so they can hear about this great hobby that we love. And as we just said, make sure to like and subscribe. So, yeah, with that being said, what have you been playing lately?
All right. I did get some stuff in recently. One of them is I got to play Nemesis Retaliation again. And
Nice.
man, I got hosed on that game.
Wait, you got hosed or everybody got hosed?
I got hosed.
Okay.
I think we had two survivors, I think, out of the 5. And I got destroyed. I got trapped by the queen and her minions. Yeah, it was not pretty. I went down in a blaze of glory. So, but I absolutely love Nemesis Retaliation. It is so amazing.
So if you got trapped by the queen, that was more towards the end, right? So you didn't go out like
the queen can come out very early in this game, but it was near the end. And unfortunately, I made a strategic mistake. I very likely could have survived, but I wasn't going to win anyways because of the way the goals came about. I could not get either goal. It really kind of stunk. And so there was no way for me to actually win the game. So I just went down fighting. But see, it's so much fun.
You've got to do that that little one-liner from Deep Rock Galactic. I'm going to be the best survivor.
Yeah. No. But yeah, that's awesome. Nemesis Retaliation, fantastic game. I got my group back together after the holidays and just a lot of things going on with everyone's schedules. We were able to knock out some more Pandemic Legacy Season 2 and finally got ourselves on a win streak. But then the last game we got obliterated really quickly. So it is very much a roller coaster game of up and down, and it is a challenging game, but it is really, really fun. And hoping we get to play some more again this weekend. Got to play Shackleton Base. This was one I mentioned before that I got to
Yep.
play at a local con recently. Well, we played it again um, just this last week. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago, and sometime in the last 2 weeks. And I did get to play it again. It is. There's a lot going on. I do like the game. I don't think it's something. It's not something I would buy. I've started to, as I'm trying to be a little bit more careful with my purchases. I'm like, yep. If I'm gonna play this game, I would play with the people that I've already played with, and one of them has it. So like, I don't need to buy it. So it's not something I don't feel I need to have a copy of. So, but it's definitely something that I've enjoyed playing and will definitely enjoy playing again.
So what you're saying is it's not an S tier game. It's
Yeah,
more
there you
like
go.
a A or a B.
There you go. um, but an S tier game that I did play would be Dominion. So I did play that last week,
Is
and
this your copy that you played now?
no, someone else brought their copy,
Okay.
so which is fine. So we did play some Dominion, and we
Did
also
you
played.
did
Huh?
you mix the versions or
They
the
only
cards or
had they only had the base version,
okay,
so it was
still good.
something new for them, and so we just randomized it and played
Hmm.
and had a good time. Then we played some Force Shuffle. So this was the original Force Shuffle. Such a good game. I think
Yeah.
that one I pulled out a win, I believe. I did pull out a pretty big win with that one. And it's fun. I really do enjoy it. Any of the games in the Force Shuffle series are just fantastic.
And how many are there? There's Dartmoor
Well,
and then the
there's the
OG.
base, yeah, but then there's like 3 or 4 expansions to the original.
Okay. Yeah.
So, which honestly aren't needed. There's so much going on in the base game, or even Dartmoor, which is the standalone. You know,
Yeah.
you really only need one of them.
Sequel,
So,
whatever.
yeah, sequel. Both are fantastic, and yeah, there's so much variety in the game that you really and we got. I say we you don't really need the expansions now. We did get a little bit of flack. I don't know if you saw that, Rob, on our YouTube channel. It was very friendly, um, and I appreciated it. And but the guy commented about you know our saying us saying in a previous episode about wow you don't need expansions, and they made some very valid points and listed some games where the expansions actually helped the game and improved the game, and they're
Hmm.
absolutely right.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
And I was just laughing. I was like, dude, I really appreciate your post, and it was cool. And yeah, so again, this one I just say I think expansions aren't needed for this particular one, just because there's so much. It's kind of like Ark Nova. I bought the Marine expansion. It's like, well, there's like 8,000 cards in the game. When am I ever going to get to the 40 that were in the expansion? You know,
Yep.
it so in that case, I would tell someone like the Marines expansion for Ark Nova is probably not necessary. Just really kind of depends on what you want out of them. But for Shuffle, again, there are several expansions if you would like. So, and I always do like that there's more options for people, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. Exactly.
I played Flux, the board game. So I remember I talked about this a couple weeks ago. I found like a really small box version of it, and I think it might even be sitting behind me. But I did get a chance to break it out and play it. I'm convinced I like the board game version of Flux better than the card game. There's just I think there's more things, there's more rules to change. I think it has a little bit more to it with moving around on these tiles. That the tiles can be, you can rule might allow you to go to the other side, like wrap around, or maybe the rules off so you can't. You can move tiles or rotate tiles. So it just adds more to the Flux game, and it's the same game, just in a board game style, and I really actually
Sure.
like it a lot. Okay, then I played Railway Boom. Ooh, excuse me. Railway Boom. And this, so a friend of mine got this, and basically what I heard about this was that this was kind of like a sleeper hit, and so we tried it out, and I would say, yeah, this was a really interesting game. When the group first sent out like, hey, I've got this, I want to try it, I looked at it. Now it's got Ian O'Toole art. It's designed
Yep.
by Hishashi Hayashi, who made the bomb game. Um,
Uh,
what is it called? Bomb Busters.
yes.
And also Simon Luciani, or is it Simon Luciani or is it Simone? I've heard his
I'm Simone, I believe.
Simone. Okay, so I apologize if I'm saying it wrong. Simone Luciani. So it's designed by those two, and but I looked at it and I was like, "Ooh, this does not look interesting to me at all." Turned out to be a really fantastic game that I really did enjoy a lot. And it's weird to look at the board. I think the board's very odd looking. I think it's very Euro, and maybe that's why. Um, but it actually was a very interesting game that I would like to play again, and I'm sure we probably will. But you are like managing like income and resources that you have, and you're building, and it's actually it was kind of, I don't know, I'm sure someone said this before, but it's a true engine builder. You have train
Yeah.
engines,
Yep.
and you are building the engines and trying to keep them going. So it's really neat how the game works. If you have not tried it or haven't heard about it, check out Railway Boom. And it's really good. It's got like a 7.9 on BGG. It is a medium weight game, and it was fantastic. And then
Actually, it
last
looks like the proper pronunciation is Simone,
Simone.
not Simone.
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 Okay. Uh, the last game I played is a beautiful, gorgeous game from Manny Tremblay, and it's Wonderland's War.
Oh
This
yeah.
is one that I've only played it twice before at 3 people. Plays 2 to 5. You do not want to play this game at 3 people. You want to play this at the 5. I'm absolutely. I don't even
Really?
think 4 players is really. I'd say 4 is the minimum. You got to play it 4. If you play it 3, you really there's it unless people engage in combat, it's too easy to avoid combat, and then there's nothing really to the game. It's kind of boring. The game, you want to go around and get your abilities and power ups and things like that in the tea party, and then you go into the battle, and you want to battle. That's the whole point of this. And when you don't have enough people, like there's 5 different regions on the map, you have 3 people. It's like, well, I'm going to go here. Someone goes there. Someone goes there. Okay, well, you didn't battle. So like that was what happened the very first time. We're like, well, this game was boring. So it's like, let's play it again. But we're going to force the battles. We're just going to go in, and it was like, okay, this makes more sense. But you still don't. You need more people. And this game's definitely best at 5, which is what I played at last night. It also extended the game, where I've played this before in an hour. It turned into like a 2.5 hour game. And we had some awesome battling, some just you didn't know. And it's really cool because when 2 people or 3 people are battling, and like, so say 3 people, one time we had 3 people battling for a region, they're all battling at the same time. They're fighting each other. And the other 2 people, before the fight starts, they get to wager who's going to win. And there's a reward if you're correct, and then there's a penalty if you're wrong. So even when you are not part of the battle, you still are invested in it. And I think that's really cool. It keeps everyone engaged in the game. And it's just a gorgeous game. It's really fun. And I know I didn't get everyone. There was others in our group who wanted to play, but we maxed out at 5. So I'll be bringing it again here soon to play it again with some others that wanted to play it. And I know one of the guys in my group absolutely fell in love with it and absolutely wants to play it again. So Wonderland's War, fantastic game, beautiful game. The only downfall to this game is there is a lot of setup, and it takes a while to put it away. So I was so glad that this game lasted like 2.5 hours. It made it worth it this time. So, but yeah, gorgeous game, so much fun. But that's what I did. How about yourself, Rob?
Actually, one more thing, if you could talk about it. I know this past week in
Okay.
particular, you've been doing a lot of painting. So
Oh,
you touched on that, I think, a couple shows ago, where you were talking about the markers that you
yeah.
were using, and you want to talk a little bit about what you've been doing, because I want to say this past week or maybe week and a half, you've been doing more painting than you've ever done of your pieces.
Yeah.
So yeah, how's that been going compared to actual brushes and stuff, and how have you been enjoying it?
So I don't have a lot of experience with paint brushes when it comes to miniatures. I've done painting of other things like model airplanes, model cars, things like that in the past. Um,
Bedrooms, garages,
yeah, it definitely
that too.
houses.
That's no
Um,
fun.
that's yeah, it's not as fun. So, but painting a little miniature, like I've got one. I got them sit. My next one's going to be this one that I've got sitting here. It's from Dragon Eclipse, and here's the there's the card. So I'm going to attempt to make it look, turn this little
Oh wow. Okay.
gray piece into something that resembles the card. And so I recently did my Deep Rock Galactic base game. I've got all the bugs, all of the dwarves, all the equipment, everything painted, and it was a lot of fun. But what I've done was a while back I bought a bunch of paints that I was going to start doing it, but then I was just like, oh, I was looking into like techniques and types, and I was like brushes and paint cleaner and all this stuff that just kind of memories of how much effort there is to put into this. And I'm like, I kind of never did. I bought a very expensive, actually, Army Painter set, a very expensive set of paints. It was a large set that I've never used. I'm actually now going to give it away to my friend Nick, who I was just talking last night. He's getting ready to start painting. Him and a buddy are going to do Warhammer Kill Team, and so I'm like, you know what? I'll give him my paints because he's doing brush painting. But I originally bought like this kind of cheap hobby marker set. It had like 55 colors. So they're like these little markers, paint markers is what they were. So I started with these, and I'm like, man, this is. I did my Nemesis Retaliation. I did all of my characters, and I was like, this works great. These have limitations. When you're using a marker, you can't get when you're dealing with miniatures, especially smaller ones. It can be real tough to get into certain spots just because everything is crammed in, and you've got a marker tip where a paintbrush you can kind of probably slip. If you get a small one, you can get that
Like
into those
dab it in
areas.
there.
Yeah, you can get it in a lot easier.
A little dab
But
will do it.
exactly. But for what I'm doing, I'm no expert. I look at some of those miniatures that paints. I'm sorry, the images of painted miniatures that are on BGG, and wow, some people have done amazing work. It's incredible. I'm not going to reach that level with doing this stuff, but it looks so much better to have color on my table than just a bunch of gray miniatures. And everyone that I've worked with, they're like, wow, these look really good. No, they don't, not compared to originals, but it looks so much better than just having these great miniatures on the table. I can show just a quick couple for those that are watching the video. So for Dragon Eclipse, here's a dragon I did um, for one of them, but like you can see, oh nope, not under the
Oh, you,
base,
you got to
but
do that thing where you hold it in front of your hand. Come on, like the
like the
like those
professionals.
influencers on YouTube that actually make money from their
And if you
show.
could see like the back of his leg back there's some spots that are a little gray, but they're not perfect. So again, brushes would be better. But this was like with the cheap markers. Okay, that's what I did with a cheap marker set, and I painted this in probably 15, 20 minutes. And it dries really fast. And now this little guy I did just the other day, but I did it again with paint markers, but it's with a different type. So that one I used the Army Painter markers, Now,
As opposed to
there's
the Amazon,
as opposed to like the
not
hobby
brand, but
markers,
yeah, yeah.
and I'm using both currently. I think both have pros and cons to them. The army painters are a lot more expensive. It's about $55 on the low end, for a box of 10 colors. Where
Okay.
on Amazon, I bought a box of 55 different colors for like $20. So there's the value. You got to keep that in mind of, if you're just diving in, I would say go with like look on Amazon and just find some acrylic paint markers. Those are going to work to start you. Now,
And
the
maybe don't
benefit,
paint your favorite game with them to
yeah,
start.
start with something different. Like I did. I did not start with Deep Rock. I went to it later, but so the benefit of the army painters is that it's you are loading the paint into the tip. The tip is very, very small, so it's a lot smaller, and you can actually get this into places where like these markers are a little hard to get into. So, and
Are the Just
army
wondering, are the tips spring loaded so you have to like press them to prime them, or
yes, there's a thing in the there's a I can actually show it for those that are watching the video, but you actually will push it. So when you first get it, this paint tip is white. There's no paint, and you just press it in and press down, and it'll load paint into the tip.
okay,
The tips are replaceable. When you buy the 10 pack, you get a little like a test tube full of new tips. So if the paint dries, you just pull the tip out and put a new one in to replace it.
oh, that's cool.
Um, the nice thing, again, the pros of these cheaper ones is that they're cheap and you can get a lot of different colors. The more expensive ones right now, they don't have a lot of colors and they are more expensive, but you can get these, like when you apply the color, if you can see, right, so those that are watching the video, right by my finger, you see like a light green and a darker green. So when you apply it the first time, it comes out like the lighter green. But as you apply more paint, it will get darker shades.
Okay.
And I had one, I don't have it here with me right now, but kind of this guy's kind of doing a little bit, if you can see the the back there with the brown, like he's got like different kind of shading almost, and it does fill in the cracks a little better. So one thing I found is with the army painters, I can get a different variation of shading of the basically same color, and it makes it look like your miniatures will look better. The ones that I have painted with the less expensive are definitely not as everything's the same. Like that dragon is red. It's just the same color across him,
Right.
where something else will have some variations, or I can paint a little bit darker to maybe get some shading or a little bit darker blend of that color by going over it again. Again, if I had to use just one, I would go with the army painter. These guys are designed. This company does paint for miniatures. This is what they're for. So
Yep.
these markers are specifically designed for stuff like this, where this is a hobby marker. It's just meant to paint whatever. So they're not specifically designed for something this small. So plus and minuses to both. The only downfall to the army painter is they're expensive, but I do think they are worth it. And I did find them easier to get into smaller places. The paint definitely lays on there better, and I think it looks better overall. It's just, I don't know how to describe it, but these two together, one was painted with one, and like the brown and green guy here, his paint job just kind of stands out better. This one looks dull.
Right.
So again, it's the type of paint, but there's options. So if you don't want to dive into like buying $200 worth of paints and paintbrushes and things like that, and you don't want to worry about making messes, you can buy yourself a very inexpensive, For
general
for
purpose
$10
thing.
you can get a 3-pack of these, 3 basic colors. For about $50 to $60 you can get a 10-pack of 10 colors. Um and yeah, I think they're a better product for various reasons, and overall the paint is a better quality, but you can still put color to your gray or white or black minis for very inexpensive with just some plain acrylic paint markers that you can buy off Amazon dirt cheap. So definitely give it a try. And if you don't want to go into brushing and all that technique, if you're like me, I just want color on my minis, then try paint markers. I highly recommend it for those that you know don't want to go into all of the painting now with brushes. Now, if you are very detail oriented, very much a perfectionist, you need to hit every little spot, then stick with brush painting. Or if you're already a brush painter, you probably will not want to go down to marker painting. I think paint markers are for people like me. They just want to dabble in it, maybe, try it out, see what it looks like, are not going to be out for those award winning painted miniatures that you see in a lot of hobbyists. So, yeah, I think it's been great. I'm really happy, and I'm now on to Dragon Eclipse, painting that. When that's done, I might go into my Deep Rock expansions and get those. I've got a lot of those still to paint. I got a lot of miniatures in behind me here, so I'll be busy for a
Yeah,
while.
oh yeah. Actually,
So
I'm curious with the army painter stuff. I know in some of their, regular paint kits that they have, they're usually geared towards a certain set of colors for a certain purpose. Are those 10-pack kits like general, or are they
all
like military paints? Just do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
no, I know what you mean. So the right now the 10 packs have, let's see, that's just an ad. The 10 packs, there's a 3-pack, they call it an introductory, and then there's a starter kit which has 10. The one that comes with the 3 gives you blood red, orc skin, and I think zealot yellow. Yeah.
Mhm.
So you get basically red, green, and yellow. That's what you're going to get. Those 3 pens for, I think it's like about
10
10
bucks.
bucks. I think for the introductory, but that's all. That's all you get. Just
It's
those.
the gateway.
It is. It's so you can try them out. Then the 10-pack does give you hardened leather, paletted bone, magic blue, Gravelord gray, polished to silver. The polished silver looks really cool. I don't have one here, but if you watch my one of my videos for the Deep Rock Galactic painting video that I put on our YouTube channel, you'll see some polished silver there, and it's metallic. I mean, it looks really cool on, like, Rob, you're familiar with the video game, the driller. There's that drop pod that comes down and it drills its way down. Well, this polished silver I put on the blades, and it turned out so cool. It looks awesome. But you get the blood red, the zealot yellow, the orc green, and then you get fire giant orange. So um those are kind of like base colors. So like there's no white, which I need. So that's why I'm glad I have, in my cheap set. I'm hoping that the army painter markers will do well, that they'll be able to expand, get more of their colors, because they've got a huge library of colors. I mean, this is just an insert, that came
Yeah.
in the speed paint. So their speed paints there's a lot. There's a very large library of it, and I'm hoping, and they do have white in there, several types of white. So I'm hoping things like that will make it to the marker set. They just came out the very end of last year, and I understand they sold out immediately everywhere. And now I actually saw them in my store the other day, and they're now back available in retail stores. So um, I'm hoping they sell well, because then they will probably expand the markers to have more colors and give us more. Hey, you're going to do army base? Let's give you a whole set of just army type colors. Different shades of green and things like that. So, but
So very cool.
And we're not this is not a this is not a promo. This is not a paid endorsement.
Yeah, yeah, it's just something
So
that you've had great luck with, and
yeah.
thanks for sharing that. And definitely check out the videos that Mark has uh, up on our YouTube channel if you want to see more about the different models that he's painted and all that good stuff.
Yep.
All right. All right. Thanks for sharing that. I played Moon Rollers this past week. So Moon Rollers is a press your luck game from the fine folks that made Moon Rakers, and I was a little iffy on this game initially when it came out, and then I had a change of heart, meaning it was an impulse buy at the store. It's like, oh, this looks good. When I actually see it in front of me and have my hands on it versus, I think it was a Kickstarter or something like that originally when I saw it. But it's a press your luck game in the Moonrakers universe where I tend to actually enjoy press your luck games for some reason, at least when they're done well. Like Port Royal or Port Royale is a game that I really, really love. And this is a dice rolling press your luck game where everybody starts off with a faction and then you get a starting card that has a particular, I'll call it like special ability. Like, for example, if you roll a particular die, you can use it in place of two other dice. And what you're basically doing is there's a number of cards on the table with different faction members. And what you're trying to do is to win those cards or collect those cards. So you collect either three of the same faction or one of each of the six factions. And that's how you win the game. But as you're rolling your dice, each card will have, let's say, 3 to 4 different things that you need to collect. So, for example, there's these like little lightning bolt symbols on the cards, which I believe are reactors, and one particular spot of the three, let's say for a card, might be you need to roll um, the reactors for, let's say, 3 reactors. And you're rolling the dice and you're trying not to bust. So every time you roll, you have to use one of your dice to, you know, put onto one of the cards. If for some reason you can't put anything on that particular card that you chose, the card that you're trying to win or lock down, then you bust. So all of your stuff comes back and then it goes to the next person. So it's a cool, fun little press your luck game. Definitely worth its purchase price. And I believe it plays up to 5 people. So that in itself is kind of cool.
Hmm.
But yeah, that is Moon Rollers. Really fun press your luck game. So
Cool.
that's it for me. All right. Moving on, if you might be wondering, hey guys, how can I get in touch with you? Well, there's a couple of ways. You can always reach out to us on any of our posts that we put up on our YouTube channel, and we love to see your comments on there. We've got a BGG guild. We've got a whole section in there, like on the blog section, and there's also there's one more. Man, I don't remember what it is now. I'm having a brain fart. So there's that and our YouTube channel. And you can always email us at contact@thisboardgamelife. Like I said, we love to hear your comments and thoughts and let us know what you think. All right, moving on to the news. We've got a couple of things that happened this past week or two. So it's definitely picking up a little bit. There was a little bit of a lull past couple of weeks as we went through the holidays. First thing that came through very recent, actually this was just this week, was Netflix optioned Ticket to Ride, which I don't know, is kind of surprising. I'm curious to see where this is going to go. So Asmodee announced that Netflix has optioned the global rights to Tickets to Ride. The agreement covers scripted and unscripted rights across movies, TV series, and other formats, whatever that means. Maybe web series or something like that. I don't know. Basically, all those
Yeah.
formats for Ticket to Ride. The first project that's slated to go into development under this agreement is a feature film. Man, I wonder how they're gonna do that. And let's see. Um, and then Alan Moon, the designer of Ticket to Ride, is going to serve as an executive producer on the film.
How do you
Uh,
how do you turn this into a movie?
I don't know.
I guess it's just going to be on about just expanding, like how the railways came about in America, or to start, or wherever they're going to start with, I guess. But
Yeah,
I don't I don't see how it turns into a movie. Hmm.
yeah. No, who knows? Might be, a rail baron or something, or you know, who knows? We'll have to see. And then they also recently licensed Catan for a movie as well. Hey, it's interesting that we're making that board game leap
Yeah.
into movies outside of Jumanji.
Yeah.
and
I think
such.
that went
So
the other way, though.
yeah.
Now, which did come first, that movie or the board game?
Ooh, interesting. Yes. Next up, Sagrada. That's a game that came out a number of years ago from Daryl Andrews and Adrian Adamescu. And coming up in just 2 months, in April 2026, there's going to be an expansion titled Sagrada Panorama. It's going to be due April 2026. I guess it's up for pre-order now. This expansion to Sagrada is going to accommodate up to 6 players. It comes with a new dice tray, new player boards, new personal boards, and 6 new tool cards. So that's going to be interesting. Sagrada is a pretty fun game. Then uh, another game that is coming out. This is another Asmodee thing here. There's going to be a new release of Inish. This is the 3rd edition of Inish. Originally, the game came out in 2016 by Matago, and the 3rd edition is going to be in retail March 13th. So, wow, that's like just 4 weeks away. So it supports 2 to 4 players, plays in 90 minutes, and will retail for $79.99. So that price for these games keeps creeping upwards. It
Yep.
is what it is,
Mm-hmm.
right? You gotta pay to play, literally. Check Games Edition is coming out with some more code names goodness. There's 3 expansion packs that are going to be hitting retail in Q2. So Q2 is right around the corner. There's sci-fi and fairy tales series of expansion packs that are going to be featuring 50 themed words to add to Codenames and Codenames Duet. They contain extra add-ons, including 3 agents, 4 new pictures. The Cute Critters expansion is used with Codenames Pictures, and it has 40 new pictures with animal-themed compositions, such as a frog family photo album, a tap dance with a tardigrade, or a bee family dinner. These packs are going to be $9.99, which is fairly inexpensive compared to the other games, $79.99.
Yeah.
And when I saw this, for some reason, I thought of you, and that's that King of Tokyo. Remember that game? This is a
Yes.
game where this goes way back from, man, like 4 or 5 years ago when my son and I visited you guys out there in the Great Northwest. And then we went to that board game store, and I think you picked up King of Tokyo, the OG version, and we played it in
Yeah.
the basement, remember?
Yep.
And King of Tokyo it's a really fun game, but it doesn't have like the classic monsters, right? It's got all of the, we'll call them knockoffs. We don't want to be too close or otherwise we'll get sued monsters.
Yeah.
It's got like the big, was it like a space gorilla looking dude and UFO dude or whatever. But anyway, it doesn't have the kaiju, the classic kaiju monsters. Well, if that's something that you were always, upset about or felt like you were missing out on, wait no more. Yellow is going to be releasing King of Tokyo Godzilla
Hmm.
in August of 2026. So probably just after Gen Con. Maybe it'll be at Gen Con, who knows? And it's going to have a bunch of the classic monsters, including Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, Mechagodzilla, King Ghidorah. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's how you say it.
Yep.
Hedorah.
King Ghidorah.
Yeah, King Ghidorah. Then there's Hedorah. Not sure
Oh,
what that
okay.
one is. I know my Mothra, definitely. And looks like there's a few flavor tweaks with the artwork and the cards. And it's going to be out for $59.99. So you can get yet another version of this game. I don't know. If this was a game that I played regularly, I would probably want this one,
Yeah.
like over the regular one. Not that there's anything wrong with the regular one, but it's just cool to get the
Godzilla's the
old.
king, man.
Yeah,
He's the best.
exactly. Although I would have a little bit of a hard time choosing in between Godzilla and Mothra.
You be Mothra, I'll be
It,
Godzilla.
actually, what's missing is what Gamera, the turtle.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that'll be an expansion.
Yeah, they do like
Ah, there you
King
go.
of Tokyo does a lot of those like creature packs. Like you can buy just the monster with their cards.
Yep.
So they definitely could do that with more kaiju characters in this universe.
Yep. So that's a pretty cool one that's coming out. And
Yeah, I might
then
have to pick that up myself.
yeah, no, it'll be an impulse buy for me. I'm sure if I see it, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna get it. I don't play King of Tokyo. Then when I get to the game store, I'm like, ooh, I see
Ooh,
it.
gotta have
Yeah,
it.
gotta collect them all. And yeah, that's it. That's all that I had. So you had a couple of things.
Yeah, I think for starters is I know Rob, you remember Forbidden Island,
Oh yeah,
and
and it's
so
10.
Matt Leacock in 2010 debuted Forbidden Island, and then that led to Forbidden Desert, Forbidden Sky, and then Forbidden Jungle, which came out, I want to say 2024. And then now, for this year in 2026, he's actually joining forces with Rob
Debut,
Daviu
Debut,
from
Debut.
Pandemic Legacy and Ticket to Ride Legacy fame to take travelers somewhere new. So Gamewright is going to debut Forbidden Legacy at Gen Con this year. Rob, you got to pick up a copy for me. With retail release in Q4 26. The game's going to retail release for US $50. And one of the elements of the connecting the forbidden titles is that how you escape from one title leads into your dire situation in the next. Um, in this case, Forbidden Jungle ended with you escaping through a portal to an unknown location, and here you are on the cover of Forbidden Legacy, popping out somewhere unknown. So the Forbidden Legacy game consists of a 7-stage campaign, with each stage being replayable on its own, and with the resolution of a stage introducing new elements as you move on to the next. Thanks both to the 6-episode boxes that are initially sealed in the box and a large chronicle box that you will open and tear apart. So the pages of the chronicle are quite thick, akin to a children's board books. And that's because in some cases you'll rip pages out of the book so that players can get their hands on info they'll need to know, such as actions available on a game turn. So it looks like reference cards and stuff that you can actually take out. Yeah, I what do you think, Rob, of a Forbidden Legacy game?
It's interesting.
I would definitely try it. I've liked
Yeah.
Forbidden. I do like the Forbidden games,
Yeah.
and I would definitely pick up the Legacy one to try it out. It's a cooperative adventure game. I mean, like all the Forbidden games are cooperative, but
Right.
this one is a Legacy version. So, um, I think that's and a $50 price point is not bad.
Oh, no, not at all.
Especially for a Legacy game.
Yes.
So
They tend to be pricey.
Yeah, they do. And then, Rob, I think you pointed this out to me earlier in the week. Another thing coming to Gen Con 2026 is they're going to debut Thunder Road Ignition. So I'm going to have to send Rob some money because he's got to mail these to me. But the Restoration Games is going to release a smaller version of Thunder Road called Thunder Road Ignition, and it's only going to be $35, and it's going to
Smaller
have
and
a wide
cheaper. Yeah.
yes, and I have a wider commercial release that will follow the Gen Con release. But they are going to have special promo. Curved road boards will be available for purchase at Gen Con or directly from the publisher. It's going to, like I said, going to come in a smaller box compared to Vendetta, which is like a big box. It's going to use half-size boards with curved roads. It will include 4 new car crews in 4 new colors, new commands, new terrain and damage types. It will distribute via Yellow outside of North America starting in 2027. So, but Thunder Road Ignition. 25 to 45 minute play time, 2 to 4 players. So this is cool because I love Thunder Road, but because of the size of it, and I had to get the big one, and I got all the stupid expansions, it doesn't get played much. I will absolutely get this in hopes to play it a lot more frequently just to get some Thunder Road in.
Yeah, I was wondering about that whole the changing with the road and going to a circular or like circular pieces versus like the long, because currently in the regular game in Vendetta you have to like put the big road tiles down and then you move them, right? You take out, you remove the old one, then you put a new one in front. So you're constantly shifting everything back. This is interesting to me how they're going to do it, where it can't be like too huge, right, in terms of circular. So I imagine it would be a lot easier to play because then you just put like another tile in front, so you're just building a circle round and round. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't even know if it's going to be like a loop. I mean, they got curved roads, but it might kind of S your way through. And
oh yeah, I suppose.
Yeah,
I just assumed that it would just keep going in a circle.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be. I'm interested to see how it works out. So.
Okay. Or it looks like maybe it'll be like a combination of Formula Day and Thunder Road. Who knows?
We'll find out.
And when's this coming out?
Um, Gen Con.
That's right.
Both of these games I mentioned are going to be have their debut at Gen Con this year, so Rob will be able to pick both of them up for me. He's going to get them and be like, "Oh, sorry, they didn't have them." But then I'll see him
So
on his shelf
sad.
behind him the following night
Yeah.
when we record.
Actually, I
So,
wonder if they have any pictures of the new one.
not
Thunder
that I have
Road.
seen yet. Thunder Road Ignition. So,
Yeah, it's
I
probably just like the box cover
yeah,
art.
that's it.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, it is just the
Well, as
box
Gen
cover.
Con approaches, we'll see more.
Yeah, which is not too far away. This
Sure.
year will go quick, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's all that we had for the news today. So for the topic that we want to talk about today, awarding is the name of the show. This has to do with there's a lot of awards that are out there in the board game space. I got a list of a couple. You ready for some of these?
Sure.
Okay, so there's like the really big ones, right? There's the Spiel des Jahres, which then also falls under the Kennerspiel, the Kinderspiel as well. So those three all kind of go together. It's like, the kid, the family, and then like the hobbyist or the more, not expert level, but more the hobbyist level games. Then there's also the Deutscher Spielpreis. Then moving on into other parts of Europe, there's the As d'Or. I don't know if I said that right. I never took French ever, so I probably butchered that. There's also the UK Games Expo Awards. There's the Hogo de Ano from Portugal, the Gra Roku from Poland, the Premio Ida from Spain. Yeah, I can't even imagine what I did to those names. In North America, we have the Origins Awards, the American Tabletop Awards, the Mensa Select Award, International Gamers Award. There's then Community and Media Awards, including BGG, Board Game Geek has the Golden Geek Awards, Dice Tower Awards, and that's just to name a bunch of them. And then also there's other things as well, like for example, Dice Tower has the Dice Tower Seal of Approval, which is sort of an award, and various
Mm-hmm.
others. So man, that's a lot of awards, and we do see a lot of these on the game boxes, right? Because as soon
Oh
as
yeah.
a game wins, like the SDJ, for example, it's going on all the boxes,
Yep.
right? Because that is a selling point. Like, this is I'm sure I got a couple here, like behind me. Of course, I don't see one. Well, actually, I see Memoir 44. I can't read the awards too far away. But yeah, they use these things as selling points and also as notoriety, right? Because winning SDJ is a huge deal for a lot of games because as soon as you win that, you
Your
sell
sales go up.
hundreds of thousands of copies probably because everybody picks it up. And I gotta admit, if there's a game that wins, let's say like SDJ, maybe not regular SDJ, but the Kennerspiel, I am more apt to kind of take a look at it, although I probably already had it by that point. It's probably already on the shelf when it won. Who am I kidding? But
Yeah.
yeah, but that's a big deal for a lot of games, and I know that if I had a game that I was publishing or a game that I designed, man, I would want to win one of those awards because that's like the golden ticket in some ways. And, the big question then is, are these really worth their weight? Like these awards? Um, do they really mean what they imply? Like any thoughts on that? Like on the awards
Oh yeah,
part?
oh yeah. I won't go there, but yes, I do think that they are very impactful on sales. It's it overall on the large scale, yes, they are important. They do they do boost sales of games. They do get these games too. First of all, just being announced, if you are up as a nominee, you get basically free marketing because all the media sites are talking about it.
Yeah.
And then when you win, you get additional, you know, mention. And then for those that don't follow that, when you're walking around a store and you see, hey, this thing won an award, that just kind of says this game's good, to the consumer. Like the consumer is looking and going, hey, this must be good. It won an award.
If you know what that
I'll go
award
ahead.
is to begin with.
Well, that's therein lies the rub of it is, you know, Challengers won an award a couple years ago, and I picked it up because it was an award winner, and I absolutely hated the game. And the game
Yeah.
that lost to it, Planet Unknown, is an amazing, fantastic, one of my all-time favorite games, and it lost to a game that I absolutely despise. And so it does influence people's purchases, but again, you asked, are they worth their weight? Is it so for a publisher? Yes, it's worth it to get that endorsement, pay whatever they got to put the stickers on there and pay for the rights to put the stickers out there. And it is worth it to them because it equates to sales. As a consumer, it it can, for someone who's maybe not knowledgeable, but I think for those that are deep in the hobby, like I was new and I bought Challengers, and because it was an award winner, and now it's like I'm not going to buy something just because it has an award winning sticker on it. I'm going to do my research and say, what is this game? I want to find out more about it. Do I have something that plays this way already? Is it new mechanics or things that I don't already have? Is it something I might even be interested in or not? I'm going to look into it a little bit more. But I think you probably have a lot fewer people out there in the consumer world that are more minded like that. I mean, there's a lot of, when I say consumer, I'm thinking more of like the big box, the casual board gamers. Your heavyweight gamers are, I don't think, are going to be influenced by those, but your casual market, which is probably so much larger, I think they would be influenced, and that's where I think a majority of all these bump in sales is coming from with these awards.
No, I was just looking something up here real quick.
Rob's like, you're
But
wrong.
no, it's the awards, the different awards are chosen in different ways and for different purposes. So, for
Okay.
example, SDJ, the Spiel des Jahres, they have three flavors, right? The kid one, the Kinderspiel, Kennerspiel, and then the regular. So those are, if I remember right, are chosen by industry people, like journalists, whatever. I forget the
Yeah.
exact constituents of it, but they're chosen for a particular reason, like to be family friendly, to play after dinner at the dinner table, to be accessible, and they're chosen for a specific reason. Like the Gamma Awards, they're chosen by like retailers. Then we get others that are chosen by people in the hobby. Like, isn't the Board Game Geek ones, the Golden Geek, aren't those chosen by voting
I
by people
don't
on BGG? I don't
I
remember exactly. So
I don't know. Huh.
so the different groups that are voting have different experiences and different reasons for choosing those. So like I said, so the SDJ isn't necessarily chosen by people like us, like you and me.
Right.
They're chosen with a different, that's a good way to put it. They're chosen, they have a different motive for choosing it. I'm not saying in a bad way,
No, I
but
know what you're saying.
yeah, they're looking at like what would be good for people that aren't necessarily like the SDJ. What would be good for people that aren't necessarily in this hobby, like Mark and Rob, where they got a ton of games, but where a family could, let's say, get this because every year they buy the SDJ winner, and they might have like 5 games on their shelf, so they need to know that this game is a decent game and can be enjoyed by most people,
Yeah.
right? So should we take that into consideration when we look at the awards? I'm just thinking.
I I don't I don't think so. I really think that all of these games come down to the individual. So let me put it this way. Like I know with Dice Tower to get I like the way the Dice Tower does it when they have like several people on their team review games.
With the
And
Dice Tower awards.
the Dice Tower, well, like when they're doing reviews, just even a standard review,
Sure.
they get multiple people review a game, and then I've seen them on their shows where they're like they're like, well, I gave it this, I gave it this, I gave it this, and there are 3 different scores across the board, you know, and that's because it's all very subjective. It's based on the individual, what they're looking for, what their thoughts were with it, what their enjoyment was with it, and so when they have a dice tower, whatever their platinum, their gold, whatever the top tiered one is, several people, it wasn't just one, it was a bunch of people on the panel that have stated that they all enjoyed it for certain reasons. And I think that kind of lends a good credibility in my book, as opposed to, I don't know, I guess when I say industry people, yes, Dice Tower is in the industry, but I think of them as they're a media source, but they're not like mainstream, but they're the most notable. I feel like they still kind of have their independence, and I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like they have their independence.
Sure.
They state what they want. I don't feel as if they are giving good reviews because they get copies or because they get kickbacks or things like that. So I feel like that's a pretty valid source for getting an opinion or an award. I feel like there's a lot of weight to their awards when they put them out. Where sometimes I feel like others are, um, they might not give it to a game that rightfully deserves it because they don't have enough people speaking the language of the country where the award is coming from, or something to that effect, or it doesn't you know meet a specific criteria for what that country's awards are looking for. And when you're in a worldwide realm of board gaming as a world thing, I kind of don't like these awards that are like coming from a country that is just awarding like things that were just in their language or just in produced there. Or so I mean, that kind of cuts a lot of others out, and then you get this idea like, ooh, this was the best of all. Well, no, not really. It was just maybe the best in this particular group of games. So in a way, I think the awards can hinder other great games being sold because of this false narrative that this game is great.
Hmm.
That's why, like, I think it's great for the companies that sell them.
Sure.
But then again, on the other hand, other companies might see dips in games when those awards are announced because they weren't an award winner. So it doesn't mean it's a great game. Just like anything that gets an award. I was watching this TV show once, and they were remodeling like auto shops, right? And they were putting paint on the outside of it. They were repainting the outside of the garage, and they had put like on the whole side of the building, like voted number one in whatever the city it was. And the guy that was doing it's like, how did we get that? Like, when did we do a poll? And the guy that had told the painters to do this, he asked the guy, he goes, well, what do you think's the number one shop in town? And he's like, well, us. He goes, well, there you go.
Yeah. Or
It was like it was total garbage.
no, it's the world's greatest coffee. You
Yeah,
did it. You did
yeah,
it. From Elf, the movie.
yep, yeah. So just because it's the world's best, world's greatest, doesn't mean it is, and that goes in board gaming awards, just like every other award. So again, people should not buy into the award. I think it's neat that people are recognized, games can be recognized, but it's also important for a consumer to understand, why did this game win? What was it up against? What was the criteria for the win? And not even all that. The number one thing is, what does this game actually do for me? And will I enjoy it regardless of whether it has a sticker on the front that said it won something or not? Because my second place winner, hands above,
Yeah.
way blew that SDJ winner out of the water, in my opinion.
Sure.
So again, it's opinion based.
Oh
I know
yeah.
people do like challengers. I think it's a pile of garbage. I don't know how it won, but it did. So,
Yeah. So for example, SDJ. So I looked up how it functions. So SDJ, the winners are chosen by a jury of game critics and journalists, typically around a dozen people from Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. And these are people who write about board games professionally, writing articles in newspapers, magazines, I don't know, blogs, who knows. But basically, the process is that they play and evaluate games throughout the year, and they give a short list of nominees, right? Which is usually three per category, and then they have honorable mentions that were probably in the running but didn't make it. So they give that nomination in the spring, so it's probably going to be coming up here soon, right? And then I want to say around what, June, July is when they announce the winners. So after they come up with that list of nominees, they then deliberate amongst themselves and announce the winner in that big old ceremony that they have. And these are people that change over time, so people rotate in and out. And it's supposed to be fully independent and isn't influenced by industry people at all, because I guess they're technically not industry people if they're journalists for newspapers and such. And there is no outside voting, whereas when you have something like the Golden Geek, that's where the BGG community votes. So that is more hobbyists voting. And now that
and
I think about it, like the BGG community voting, you can get louder voices, people that are like really hardcore drowning out people that are not as much, or vice versa. People that are really hardcore, that really, really love the intricate, heavy games, they might get drowned out by the people who are into more casual games. Who knows?
yeah.
And then, the other awards that are out there, they of course function potentially even differently. Like, some are more industry, some are more local, right, to a community. Like now that I think about it, I wonder if some of those, like for example, there was the one that was based out of Poland, the Gra Roku award. Like if that one only covers games that are in Polish, that
Yeah,
have
I think the
Polish
one
localizations.
I want to say the one in France was like, or there was one in France that's
Us
only like awarded to
or
French games or something like that. So again, though, the awards are great, but it's important for the consumer to know and understand what that award represents. So
yeah, because didn't we talk about that Us door a couple shows ago? I remember that. It was like
yeah,
in
and
a
I
news segment or something.
because I believe they were changing, like trying to get more hardcore games. They were going
Yeah.
to start awarding instead of, I believe, or I'm maybe that's backwards. I think they were going to try to get some more hardcore games into the awards instead of the lightweight games. Or
So
it was the other way. They wanted more mainstream games in their awards as opposed to the heavyweight games. It might have been that way.
yeah,
I
so
think it
the
was something like that.
the Asta or is French game journalists as opposed to like the German, Austrian, and Swiss journalists. So they're French journalists, but they function similarly to the SDJ, and they exclusively evaluate games presented at the Cannes International Game Festival
Okay.
every February. So it is February now,
Mm-hmm.
and that is one of the largest game fests in Europe. And so the game has to be present there in order to be eligible. So that's an interesting little wrinkle. If your game's not there, you don't exist for that
So
award.
the Cannes Festival this year is February 27th to March 1st.
Okay,
So
so about a week.
so yep. So we should see some winners, at least nominees,
Or
sometime after
something.
that.
Yeah.
So cool.
And then, yeah, so I guess what we're basically saying is that these awards are very subjective, right? And it
Yeah.
comes down to a lot of personal preference because, we'll use the challengers as an example. There's a winner that you did not care for. And, we're not going to like every game out there.
Right.
But what is nice about this is it definitely puts games on our radar, right? That we might not have known about. We might not have really considered them to be anything special whatsoever. But knowing that it's a nominee, it's like, I'll actually, like, if there's a game that I don't know anything about and it's nominated for SDJ, I'm going to take a look at it. I'm going to check it out. Whereas
Right.
otherwise, it might have totally gone under the radar.
Yeah.
Like, if it wasn't for the SDJ, I don't even remember hearing of challengers like that even came out.
And I did buy. I will say my very first Gen Con, I did buy Dorf Romantic
Oh yeah,
because it won. I played it there, and
yep,
I'm like, I
insta
remember
buy.
Franco didn't like it, but I'm like, no, I think the lady was teaching it wrong.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I see something here, and I knew it had won, so I'm like, I'm gonna pick this up. And I absolutely love Dorf Romantic. Absolutely, it's
yep.
fantastic. So yeah, it again, if I didn't know that it was a winner, I may not have picked. I probably wouldn't have picked it up. I might have said, But I guess knowing that and the way the lady was teaching it, I'm like, I don't. She kept going back to the book, not be able to answer our questions very well. I'm like, she doesn't know what she's doing. I think there's more to it than that. So
Hmm.
I ended up buying a copy. So and it was fantastic. So it's not a knock against all awards, but just know, just because it's got it won an award doesn't ensure you'll like it. I guess that's my point.
And then we've got some games like here I'm holding up Ticket to Ride.
Yeah. Spiel des
And
Jahres winner 2004.
yeah, so it's got the SDJ '04 winner, um, that little pawn looking award thing. And then in the bottom corner, it's got 1.1 million TTR games sold. And then it's got the SDJ. It's got, man, I can't read these. I need my glasses. Yeah, it's got USA award, whatever that is, Japan, Spain, France, SDJ in Germany. So it's got its credentials. That's like having all those initials after your name on your business card. When you see something like that, does that bring any more attention to the game for you?
Yeah, it can. And even yours, your Ticket to Ride was a 1.1 million copies. That's obviously a very old version of the game because
Oh
I
yeah.
just looked it up. They've sold over 20 million copies of the game. So, I mean, different translated in a bunch of languages and stuff. But yeah, it can. It's just like McDonald's used to advertise on their signs. Over 3 billion servers. I mean it was something. They don't do that anymore. But I remember when I was growing up, you and I were growing up, the McDonald's always, every once in a while, you'd see that sign change. 3 billion hamburgers, 3 billion served, 4 billion served.
Hmm.
It was a marketing thing, so
Oh yeah.
it does help with sales.
Actually, that blows my mind that they sold 19 million plus after I got my copy.
Yeah. Well, I bought my copies just in the last couple years, so
Actually, speaking of Days of Wonder, we're about due for another Days of Wonder game, aren't we?
I don't know.
They don't come out with very many. Usually like one a year, if that.
I
What was the last one they came out with? Heat, I think.
I thought we just talked about something from them just the other. I thought we talked about that like a week or two ago about something new they're coming out with.
It's been
But
too long.
it was more than a week ago, so I
Actually,
have no idea.
now I got to look it up.
So, but they won't have time to make games. They're going to be too busy making movies.
Oh, they're coming out with that retheme of Memoir, the Star Wars one.
Well, they already did
Uh,
that. Battle of Hoth.
yeah, that's
That's
like
already
their
out.
yeah,
That
that's their
came out
new
last
game though,
year.
isn't it?
Yeah, and I think they reskinned the actual Memoir 44 game. But I thought I could have swore we talked about something they were coming out with here in 2026 just not too long ago. But I could be absolutely wrong. So,
Okay, now I got to look it up.
oh,
Yeah, Heat, Battle of Hoth, Heat, the Memoir 44 D-Day anniversary scenarios. Yeah, it's just Heat.
hmm.
Heat, Ticket to Ride, Memoir. Oh man, they haven't come out with anything in a while. Like new. I'm probably gonna reprint Small World soon. That's that's not a scoop or anything. That's just me guessing.
Yeah, it looks like Heat Rocky Roads, the new expansion's going to be available the end of this month on the 27th.
Oh yeah,
So, but
and Heat Legends. Yeah. But anyway,
all right.
any more thoughts on this, or
No,
you good?
I'm good with the awards.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, same here. So that was a pretty good discussion. And yeah, if you have any thoughts on awards and what they mean to you, we'd love to hear from you. So let us know either through the comments or shoot us an email at contact@thisboardgamelife and let us know what you think.
Yeah.
So you want to end it here, or
Now let's jump into our new closing section, which will be here some weeks, not all weeks,
yes, yep,
maybe. but we're going to do a crowdfunding corner. And I thought this would be a good opportunity for Rob and I to talk about projects that we have like recently backed. So if we back something new during the time frame of the last couple of weeks, then we can talk about it here. I have done a couple. I think all of these are currently still open, so they might be available if you're interested from the time you're hearing this episode. But the first one is I backed this actually last night. I was listening to the Dice Tower crowd funding. No, crowd. I forgot what the name of their show is. They do a crowdsourcing show
Yeah.
each week, and they were talking about a game called Baktor, and I was listening to them, and then I paused it, and then I went to look it up and check it out, and I ended up backing this one. This looks really cool. Um it is trying to I want to state it correctly. Let me see. That's just their thing there. So players are going to take on the role of demigods, each with unique abilities and playstyles. Heroes will evolve during the game through experience cards, unlocking skills and reactions that can be played on their own turn or during other players' turns. So that's interesting that you can actually play during other people's turns, and it is a cooperative game. Combat revolves around positioning, timing, and cooperation, as players will chain abilities, control enemies, and adapt to an evolving battlefield. This is a dungeon crawling game where you're going to lay out. You have these tiles that get shuffled up and then stacked, and they're going to come out one after the other based on when you move onto a tile that has where the path goes off of the edges. Then anywhere it goes off the edge, you have to put a new tile in. You can orient it any way you want, but that new tile might bring in a health pack. It will most likely bring in more monsters. There's different types of monsters that will come out. There's portals that will appear, and that will keep like the monsters like kind of close to you. Sometimes when you flip a boss card, enemies will spawn at all portals. So then they can respawn on previously placed tiles and stuff like that. So it's really kind of a neat looking. You get to level up your characters pretty quickly, and like as the team is killing monsters and getting rid of the enemies, there's this like kind of this little round dial, and this little marker moves, and it like when you get like to the halfway point, I think there was something that happens at the halfway, and then I think once it comes all the way around, everyone levels up, which means you get to draw 2 more cards, and you pick one of the cards you drew to keep as another ability or a power up for your character. And you might get equipment or an ability or things like that. And it's plays quickly, and it's a cooperative, but it's like a dungeon crawler without just massive table presence, which like this is something I could take to my Wednesday night game night and play it probably a couple of times in an evening and have fun with it. So that's one I'm really happy and excited to have backed.
Looking at those tiles kind of reminds me of like a dungeon crawly Carcassonne for some reason.
Those tiles, if you're familiar with Clank Catacombs, you're putting out tiles. It's kind of the same idea, something like a Clank Catacombs, but it's a little dungeon crawler, and it plays like, I think it's 6 people, and there's like 6 different heroes, and you all have these boards, and you've got these like dual layer boards that you move in these cubes, your health, and everyone's got different abilities. Like one of the characters is like, they want more, they're more powerful attacks if they're around other people. Like the bigger the group that so if you're on the same tile with multiple people, your attacks are more powerful, as opposed to if you're alone on a tile doing attacks, then they're not as powerful. And you're rolling d20s to see if you're going to attack or hit or not. And then like if you roll a 20, it's automatically obviously an instant kill, but you also gain an energy. And if you roll a 1, you will not only miss, but you also like lose energy, which is, energy is about basically having ability points, or that's how you do all your actions, by using a certain amount of energy. Very simple system, and it just looks like a lot of fun. So, and that one is actually, now again, it's crowdfunding, so things always slip, but they state that the game is already, like, it's ready the files are done. All they have to
Nice.
do at this point is um tweak some things, but they're basically raising the money to be able to send this off to the printer. So they're expecting this to ship in Q3 of 2026, by the end of Q3. So we're talking about, like, by October of this year, I should have this game in my hand. And I really like that. So I'm like, I hope it happens, but even if it slips a few months, it's better than like a lot of others that take a lot longer. So hopefully that one will come to fruition, and I might see that game by the end of the year. The other one that I backed was called Jump Masters, and this one is still currently active as well. This is from Chip Theory Games, but it's actually the Neon Knights. It's another Neon Knights game, and those guys made Neon Rain, and they did the Take 5, I think it was, last year, and I think this is their new game this year. It's a cutthroat battler. It's like inspired by Chinese checkers.
Yeah.
They say it's an easy to jump, hard to master game. And it's from Manny Tremblay, which I really like his games, and I like his artwork, and the artwork on this is awesome. But in this game, players are going to command a team of heroes in a skirmish, and these heroes are represented by dice on the battlefield, and players must take advantage of the terrain, positioning, and their hero's special ability to emerge as victors. It's a 20 to 30 minute time frame, plays 2 to 4 players. It's a Chip Theory Neon Knight game, so it's going to be just fantastic quality. And so far, I've enjoyed these. I pretty much love everything from Chip Theory. So, and Neon Knights has put out some good stuff.
Quality stuff.
Quality, yeah. So I've backed this one. I don't know when this one's coming out. It was one of those that I'm just like, I'll take it. I have to look at, but anyways, let me see if I go to my pledge, if it shows me the date that it's expected. Well, not gonna waste a lot of time. I don't see it listed here, but I know it's in here somewhere that they list it. So, and then I've got one last one, which is Final Girl Season 4. I went with the Ultimate Pledge. I've got, you can probably see right above my head on both sides, I've got Seasons 1, 2, and 3. No, I haven't played them all. I said I wasn't buying Season 4, and then I backed it anyways because I'm weak. So, but I am going to break out my Season 1, get it set up on the table upstairs, and just start playing through each box. Even if I lose, I want to play every one of them at least once. So that's what I'm going to do. Oh, the Jump Masters is showing for September of this year. So, and again, it's inexpensive. The deluxe version is $40. The standard version is only $30. So it's not an expensive game. That's the Jump Masters is, but the Final Girl, yes, that's expensive, especially if you're doing the Ultimate with all of the boxes and stuff. So, but if you haven't jumped into Final Girl, you can find it. You can find this all over the place, and it's a solo game, so it's for one player only. But it's a really neat little game. I like the system. It is challenging, which is good. You don't want it to be super easy, then it would be boring. But you can get the core box and then any one of the like movie boxes, so that you can fight on a different baddie or a bad guy. I think they call them terrors, and in different locations. So each movie box has different locations and things like that. So But yep, those are my latest backers. So the Boktor, Boktor, and Jump Masters are on GameFound right now,
Yep.
and the Final Girls Series 4. Let me see if this is still active. It's on Kickstarter. I believe it is still active. Yep, 6 days left to go as the recording of this show. So if you're interested in any of those, they are still out there. So, all right. How about you, Rob? Did you
Very cool.
crowdfunded anything recently? Or
Not
you
recently,
behaved?
no. I've been good.
You've been good. You've been
Yeah.
crowdfunding your studio.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
And the latest Queen City Collection thing got canceled. They're gonna try it again.
oh yeah.
So, but I wasn't gonna get anything from that one either. It was it's not the deluxe editions that I'm suckered into.
It got canceled because you didn't back it. That's the problem.
Yeah,
See,
that's
see,
yeah.
you solely are
They
keeping everyone from their game.
they looked to see if I backed it, and they're like, we messed up somehow. We messed up. Rob did not back it. We need to figure out what we did wrong and try again. We want
Deluxify
his
it.
money.
Yep. All right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that is it for episode 115. We hope you enjoyed the show. Let us know if you have any thoughts or comments on anything that we talked about. We'd love to hear from you. And shoot us an email at contact at this board game life, or give us a comment on any of the places where we post our stuff. All right. So I am Rob. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll catch you all again in 2 weeks.
I'm Mark. We'll see you at the table.